welcome to Moringa for Life's farm. I'm going to continue with our series on how to plant moringa. Today we're going to plant a bare root. So this is something that you can order from my website as a bare root. It looks like this when it's unearthed, so I've already rinsed that off. That is what would get shipped, and if you can notice, it has a bark on the outside. It has feeder roots. This will get cut and it'll be shipped. You'll receive it and it'll look just like, this will be cut off and it'll look just like a bare root. I wanted to go over why we wait until the second year. So this is called a yearling, and I wait until it's a year old and it has that bark, because when moringa is fragile is in this first year. So this is a planting from this first year in July, and when I unearth that, you're going to see the difference in that bare root. This is white. It's fairly small, although they can get to be the same size, but you can see here that there's no bark on this root, and that's when moringa is very fragile and likely to die if you transplant it. So when people buy this seedling, I recommend that they keep it in the same container through the first year and then plant it in the following season. So it'll look like this if you get it from me as a yearling, and it looks like this in the ground, in my greenhouse. So this is how you know, I know, and I can always identify this as the growth from last year. This is the growth from this year, and every time we open one, we don't know what that root is actually going to look like. Even though they're all planted at the same time pretty much, that's what this one looks like, and you can see the feeder roots there. But yours would be cut off. I had scissors here, buried probably. So yours would be cut off at the top, and that's how it would look when you received it. This one too, we're just going to do a few so you can see the characteristic of that root after it's been in there for a year. So they're not that big. They can be bigger. When moringa is growing in a container, it knows that it's contained and it doesn't grow as fast. And if you look at how sparse it is here, it's also because these are in the greenhouse side by side, and there's not really room for that leaf to spread out. But if you can look behind me, these plantings are the same age. So this is a year old. This is transplanted from last year. But once it's in the ground, you see this then has room. It has room for the leaf to spread out, and it thrives. Even the size of the leaf is comparably quite different. So what we're going to do today, once you receive your bare root, it'll look like this, or it'll look like this, but with the top off. I've pre-dug a little hole here. You want to set your bare root in there with the feeder roots down, and this top to come below the top of the soil. So I make the hole fairly deep so those feeder roots can be straight down, and as I cover that in, I pull really gently the root up a little bit to make sure that those feeder roots are straight going down there. And so you just, here's the scissors, continue to cover that and press it down, and I've pulled it up again a little bit, so now the top of the soil is at that soil level, is at the top of the stem, where the stem is going to grow. Now keep it on there. I'm going to show you what a plant looks like that has been planted in a container. And what will happen, what you want to expect to see. This is one that's been planted. It's a yearling, just like the one I just planted. But once it comes up, because it's been cut, it sends multiple shoots out. So this is the same age as the one that I just planted. It just has been planted in a container already, and it's already having 3 shoots. And this is what you want to start to see with moringa. In most areas except for tropical, you're not going to have a long enough season for it to have seed pod. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that. But this is for multiple branching, so you have more leaf production. And if you can see, I'm going to show you something that's been planted in the ground. Now it's the same age as this one. It was transplanted at the beginning of the season into a container here, and it's been harvested several times, and so you can see this has several shoots coming up, and the amount of leaf production is quite predominant. Even here I've been harvesting just branches but leaving the stem, and so you can see how much leaf production there is if you just have one stalk. And here you can see what it looks like once these have been harvested. Some of the larger ones we've left large, we've left in the ground. Instead of harvesting multiple times, we let the stems get really thick, and this is to do cutting. So that thick stem, and I'll go into that in the next clip, will become cuttings. So some of them we've let to just grow and produce leaf, and then we've cut it all the way back like this. And this one will continue to send more shoots. And we'll show this again later on so you can see what it looks like once it's harvested down to this stage, that it'll send multiple shoots out, and that's for that increased leaf production. So the next one we're going to do is on doing a cutting. Stay tuned.